Oh, I'm beat.
Quirky, wild and utterly magical. Quidditch is taking off in Ireland and is already setting up its third and fourth teams. But it's here in Fairview Park that the Dublin Dreachta Dragons train for hours every Sunday to keep in top form against their rivals, both native and international.
I was actually at a screening of the Philosopher's Stone at my college in UCD, and the current coach of the team, Steve-O, just showed up, and he had some stickers and some flyers, and he was like, "Hey, we've set up a team in Dublin to play Quidditch." And at first I was like, "Quidditch, that sounds so lame." And I looked it up and I was like, "Oh, this looks terrible." But then I actually played it and I was like, "Oh my god, this is actually so much fun." So that's how I got in, I guess. Harry Potter Society in UCD. So it's quite small compared to, say, the UK or the US or some European countries, because it's quite new. A lot of people don't know about it, and when they see it, it's like, "Oh, Quidditch, the brooms look silly." But it's growing. We're getting more players every week, and hopefully, at the moment, there's just the Dublin team and there's a team in Belfast, but they're setting up teams in Cork and Galway. So hopefully, at some point over the next year or two, we'll be able to have a proper prospering Quidditch community in Ireland. It was our current coach and I think it's the president of our team, Martina. Together, they just because they had history with Quidditch, they played it in their own countries. And when they came to Ireland, they were like, "Oh my god, there's no Ireland team, there's no Quidditch at all in Ireland, this is terrible." So they made it a goal to make Quidditch in Ireland, and it worked, they got it. So it's really impressive actually, because it's very difficult to make something out of nothing, So for them to, from scratch, make Quidditch happen in this country is very impressive, so I'm very grateful. At the very beginning, there's brooms up, so the whole team is at their brooms, or at their hoops, so 6 players, not 7 because the seeker doesn't go on at the start. I'll explain that in a moment, but there's 3 chasers, a keeper, and 2 beaters, so 6 people are at their hoops, and their brooms are on the ground, and then the game begins. All the balls, the 3 bludgers and the quaffle, are in the middle line, and they all run for it. So the beaters are obviously running to get their bludgers, and the chasers are running to get their quaffle. The chasers want to score goals with the quaffle, so they want to get the quaffle into the hoops. That gives you 10 points. Whichever hoop you get it through gives you 10 points. The beaters don't get to score, but what they do is they support the chasers on an attack, and they support the chasers on a defense. So they help their chasers, they beat attackers away when they're defending, and they beat defenders when they're attacking. So beaters are mainly support players, chasers are all about scoring goals. In the 17th minute of play, I think it is, the snitch comes on. So the snitch is a person, he's a neutral player, or she is a neutral player. They are basically on the refs team, I suppose you could say, and they have the snitch on the back of their shorts. The seekers also come on, making 7 on each team. And the seekers basically have to kind of wrestle / chase the snitch runner to get the snitch off their shorts. There's a lot of rules regarding the technicalities of what a clean snitch catch is. You can't grab the snitch runner's shorts, you can't impede the snitch runner's movement. So oftentimes in an average game, there might be 1 or 2 false catches first, and then a clean catch happens. At a clean catch, the team who caught the snitch gets 30 points and the game ends. So you don't want to catch the snitch if you're more than 30 points behind, because you'll win for the enemy team. It works really well though, when you actually see a game, all this happening at the same time, the chasers, the beaters, the seekers, the keepers, it all sort of melds into one beautiful cacophony of sport. Now, I didn't make this equipment myself. That was Steve-O and Martina, I think, really spearheaded that campaign. But the brooms, I think, are just made from plumbing parts, and there's electrical tape wrapped around kitchen sponges to stop, you from getting badly tackled. The hoops, hula hoops, some duct tape, some plumbing parts. Very much homemade. I think there is a company in the UK that makes them properly. So a lot of the UK teams have custom made, or not custom made, but regulation made brooms and hoops. But we homemade our own. We're probably gonna have to replace them at some point because they're not perfect, but they're ours. I would like to play Quidditch flying, of course, because it would be so cool, and Harry Potter and all that sort of stuff. It would be a sport I'd very much like to play, but it wouldn't be the sport that I'm playing right now. This is called Quidditch, and it's a sport that I love. But if we were allowed to fly, you'd have to do away with a lot of things. Tackling, for example, if we were actually flying, would be lethal. You'd need trampolines everywhere, so it would be very much a separate game. It would be a separate game I'd love to play, but it wouldn't be this. So I'm very happy to keep this on the ground. Well, for the Dublin Dragons and the Irish team, we hope to continue growing, continue getting some new talent, because there's plenty of talent in Dublin. We get these new players in and they're throwing bludgers and scoring goals, and it's very inspiring to see. So hopefully we keep growing as a team, we become more popular, and we develop our skills, our tactics a bit more, and we start to play in international tournaments, but also in national tournaments if more teams pop up. So that's the future for us, and we eat lots of pizza. That's a goal of ours.
From the novels to the silver screen, and now at last to your local park, Quidditch is only growing stronger in Ireland, and it seems that very little can stand in its way. More teams are forming for Eamon, Steve-O and Martina, and it's only a matter of time until dozens of rival teams will knock at the door of our city's dragons. All they have to do is answer that call, knock right back and work their dríochta.
2, 1.
Dragons! Wow!